Alrighty, at long last, or at least for me. For you, it will be nothing, obviously. So, I've been trying to figure out how I wanted to re-record this, which is what that means. So, I recorded, was it yesterday, I think it was, or day before maybe, one of the two. A video and it only got about a minute and a half in of talking about what I'm about to tell you. The reason for it is because a friend of mine called me when I was recording and cut me off mid-thought, But it doesn't matter now. My watch is irritating me. I'll deal with it in a minute, honestly. So, topic at hand is mental blocks. See how I can do this today when I have so much on my mind. Unrelated. So you can actually block yourself psychologically through fear or through what you're told, whether it's by society or what you tell yourself. You can mentally block yourself from doing something. Now, I'm sure this is, a pretty common thing. Most people are at least aware of it, but they don't understand it because they don't realize when they are doing it themselves. So, the hell are you looking at? Sorry. Having one of those days myself. Don't exactly want some random person staring at me or giving me a glare. So, I have started to do things, eat things, I should say, that most people are going to just go, how? Even my best friend goes, that's nasty. I don't know how you do it, but I couldn't do that. And if that's not true, you know who you are. And correct me. You know how I am. Correct me on thinking you said something completely different than what you did. I don't know. But anyways, though, so I've been eating, and this dawned on me when I was talking to someone on the phone. I've been eating over the course of the past few months, on and off, just because, as mentioned before, there are certain immediate kind of effects of eating raw aloe vera leaves. Like literally just go to Sprouts and pick up some aloe leaves and just cutting them up and, gulp. But we'll get on that on another day. The idea of, I need to get used to having the camera out a little bit further. It's what this is for, teaching myself. Freaking watch. So that being said is, again, most people go, oh, that's bitter, or I couldn't do that, or whatever. Rather it's that or eating raw egg, which is something that I have started doing in the last few days for a hiccup in the system that I'm currently dealing with. I'm on a trip right now, not that kind of trip, but I'm out of town, and I only have my card to fund this trip. Well, my card has been working when it wants to in the last 3 days. So it will work a few times and then stop working and then go back to working once and then stop working for the rest of the day. So, and that's more or less what I've been dealing with, it working on and off more off than on. Anywho though, so I bought eggs, and I've done a little bit of research. Don't quote me on what all it does right now. I will actually go into that in the next few days for the sake of trying to get that information out there But one reason why is because, and I'm eating literally the entire egg. I'm cracking it into a bowl, and then just, pouring the bowl up and just swallowing the raw egg yolk, the white, literally just crack in bowl. So, and initially, and this is not the first time I've done this, just I'm doing it differently now. I've put raw egg in my smoothies before. You don't taste it. I've used fresh bakery loaves that you could get from, grocery store, like Sprouts or Albertsons or Vons or such. So a store that has a actual bakery, even Walmart. And then I just dip I rip it off and dip the bread into the yolk, and you don't taste it. You kind of do taste it, but it's kind of like, we've normalized a lot of things. We've normalized taking pills. We've normalized certain tastes that we tell ourselves, oh, that's nasty, that's gross. But we do it anyways because we tell ourselves we need it. We tell ourselves, NyQuil, syrupy medicines, disgusting, at least to me. Whoa! At least to me, disgusting. I haven't taken stuff like that for a long time, mainly because I never buy it. Actually, correction, I took it last year only because I don't know, I was sick and I thought it might help, and I realized it did me more harm than good. It just, health sucks, taking syrups, acid reflux, and other stuff. But pharmaceuticals are not good for you regardless. Again, I always tell people, watch a commercial. Always tells you, consult your doctor, or it will cause 50 issues, or, issues with your liver, or this or that. So yeah, that all being said, what is the difference between forcing yourself mentally going, this tastes nasty, but I'm going to just do, all right, quick, and be done, and then, oh god, that's nasty, let me get some water, or something like that. What's the difference between that and, again, I gotta get used to extending my arm when doing this. What is the difference between doing that and doing something natural, especially if you know what it does and you've done the research? Like me, I've done the research on the benefits of eating raw egg and the benefits of eating eggshells, believe it or not. They actually eggshells help with repairing your teeth when you ingest it. Eggshells are high in calcium, egg itself has a lot of, other good nutrients. We all love aloe vera, the smell of it, we know it has good properties for the skin and burns and other stuff, but when you ingest it, when you eat raw aloe vera, it has other benefits as well. That's why, we drink aloe vera juice now. It's becoming a little bit more of a common thing, whether it's flavored or sugary or whatever. It's at least becoming a common thing to have aloe vera juice. But again, doing anything, whether it's eating raw egg, whether it's aloe vera leaves, rather it's another thing that I actually enjoy, which tastes pretty good, believe it or not. So feel free to try any of these, but of course go to again Sprouts or whatever grocery store that has a dirt table, or at least that's what we called it at Sprouts. At Sprouts. So dirt table was where we kept the potatoes and the onions and stuff that grows in the dirt, and that, unlike carrots that obviously grow in the dirt, you don't have to keep it on the wet rack. Anywho, not the point. Point is that sweet potatoes, most people go, oh, you just eat a potato, you cut it and yeah, really? Yeah, it tastes good. So that's what I'm saying. We as society have trained ourselves individually to say, you need this for this reason. You need NyQuil, you need Tylenol. It tastes nasty if it touches your tongue or whatever like that. But we take it anyways because that's what we, in our minds, know we're supposed to do. We know it's going to help. It's going to give us relief or benefit or something like that. I'll tell you this right now, if you have inflammation, if you have, don't ask me to name off all the deficiencies that I may have currently with my health, but when I woke up this morning, my knee kind of hurt. You know, I have a bad knee. I've eaten throughout the day. It took me a while to get the eggshells down, but I drank it. This is how I was doing it. Like I said, crack it into the bowl, and then I've been hanging out at Starbucks. I just have a water cup, and I gulp it, and then I drink water with it. You know, whenever you're doing anything, you know, life in general, if you're living, you need water. So, all of that being said, I just made sure that I was drinking water throughout the day. I'm actually really freaking cold right now. Having nothing to do with, you know, obviously the sun's going down. More so to do with the fact I've been drinking a lot of ice water. You know, it's always good to stay hydrated, and my knee doesn't hurt. It feels almost the same as my right knee. So, what does that mean if my knee was actually hurting this morning and now it's not? Inflammation is down, strengthening it. Again, I'm going to make another video that goes deeper into the benefits of eating raw egg, which, let me stop you at the idea of, oh, salmonella. How many of you have eaten raw cookie dough? Your mom, you know, she made cookie dough as a kid, and you ate it. Same thing! Like, this is what people don't understand. They're like, oh, this is okay, but then they don't actually put two and two together of, oh wait, this has raw egg in it. I mean, I've never had salmonella poisoning. I've eaten raw egg essentially through half my childhood, doing it that way, just, you know, eating the cookie dough out of the fridge, homemade, you know, from scratch cookie dough, eating the little Nestle buckets of it, of cookie dough, and you know, just people have these things in their heads of myth, and that's all it is. Society, we get taught myths. And you know, I've started eating raw egg in my smoothies, in putting the eggshell in there, and I've seen my cavities actually start to close up. My teeth are strengthening. My teeth are mending themselves. If you don't believe me, again, that's the whole point on this YouTube channel, is try it yourself. Overcome your fears. Overcome these little mental blocks that a lot of us have of what we think is gross. You know, gross is an opinion. Gross, you can overcome that. You know, like I said, I drink aloe vera juice as well. The kind you can buy from in a gallon jug. It's you know, and I've had people tell me, oh, how do you drink this? I'm like, well, for one, I'm used to drinking it, and that's all it is. You get used to it, and your body will over time get used to it the more that you do it. As well as, and I'll admit this, I had to overcome this myself. I thought that, oh, this is super bitter, I don't know if I could drink this, and I psyched myself out of it. And whenever I would stop drinking aloe vera juice, I would have that in my mind that, oh, this had a funny taste when I first started. And so I would have that funny taste already upon drinking it. It barely touched my tongue, you know? And so that's what you gotta think. You gotta think of, it's not gonna taste bad. You have to mentally prep yourself. You have to, you know, we have these programs in our heads. We have to put another one there that ultimately slowly breaks down the old one, you know? But yeah, you know, just get used to it. You know, overcome your fears, get used to what you think is weird or gross or whatever. If you know that it's going to benefit you, just like how, you know, NyQuil is supposed to help you sleep, just like how, or help you with your cold and flu symptoms. If you know that is supposed to help you and benefit you, And so regardless of how it tastes or any of the bad side effects, try some of the natural stuff and see, regardless of how it may taste, there's always ways around it. Put it in a smoothie, make it to where you don't taste it. You know, I put sweet potato, which again has a, you know, it's sweet potato, it tastes like sweet potato, obviously, but I put that in a smoothie with bananas and strawberries and can't remember if I put anything else in it, but I know that was in it, and I put it in there because my friend and his wife, I made it for them. My friend is diabetic. Sweet potatoes are good for diabetes. And, you know, his wife, I asked her what she wanted, and she said, you know, strawberry banana, you know, smoothie. So all you got to do is make sure that it tastes the way you want it to. So, you know, it's just a fun little chemistry set, you know. It's like baking. It's like doing anything else in the kitchen. Your blender will be your best friend. You'll hear me say that a lot, especially when this channel takes off and I have a blender and everything. You'll start seeing me do essentially a chemistry set and just start, you know, mixing things up. But yeah, if you don't like the taste of something, I remember one time when I was with my ex, I made this weird concoction. It had pomegranate honey that we got from Jungle Gyms. It had onions, it had garlic, you know, it had lots of regular honey, vinegar. It's like I was ultimately like, I made something that tastes nasty, like I was, oh, like I would not recommend. I don't even remember how I made this, what it was. I barely remember half the ingredients. I pretty much threw half of what was in our kitchen, you know, and I wanted to reap all the benefits without dealing with the high acidic levels and everything, because that's when my acid reflux was off the charts. And yeah, so ultimately I just had to figure out how to counteract what I didn't want, the taste, the effect, whatever it was. So sometimes you just gotta throw things in the blender. But that sounds like a weird just offshoot of just like, hey, you know, this is how you make stuff in a blender. You know, just throw it in until it works. But no, it's the fact that ultimately you just got to overcome things. And I don't know, maybe I just wanted to talk about that. But ultimately, like I said, this whole ramble was supposed to be less of talking about eggs and more so talking about what we think and hear psychologically and mentally, and how we perceive things, and how ultimately we have to break away from that if we really want the help. You know, you have to want it and you have to go for it and you have to just do it. You know, what's that mean? Just do it! I'm feeling goofy. So yeah, and so if you want it and you've done the research for it, you know, what foods help, you know, with this? What foods help with that? How do you detox your kidneys? How do you detox your liver? You know, what foods help with multiple organs or whatever? You don't want to do it. Make sure that you can at least have it in your day until your body gets used to it. There's always a way to mask it. There's always a way to just overcome it. That way you can do it, because that's where the big barrier that I've seen with people that I've actually given advice with and said, hey, these are things that I've researched. Raw garlic. You eat raw garlic this much in a day or this much in your week or whatever, you know, consistently just eating it. These are the effects that I have seen on myself, how it's going to affect my health and improve my health. And people are just like, I don't want to eat raw garlic, man. I mean, what if I get bad breath? Chew gum, brush your teeth, eat avocado. I don't know. I was told by my ex-roommate, so if anyone out there watches this and says, oh, well, I eat raw garlic and everything, my ex-roommate, he had said that if you eat avocado, it actually helps absorb, you know, the bacteria and the odors, basically, in your stomach and just in your esophagus. It will coat it and get rid of the odor. So my nose doesn't work too well. It's one of those things to where you kind of have to be able to smell in order for that to work. So, but yeah, ultimately just make it to where if you really want it, to put the effort into it and break down the whole, oh, well, there's this food in my smoothie. there's a way to ultimately accomplish whatever your goal is, one way or another. So, yeah, that's what I got. I feel like this was maybe a prologue part 2, and hell, it was even longer. But I think I'll just stick with calling it a how to overcome mental blocks beta. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But yeah, figure out what I'll call it. I'm uploading it right now, so I know that I've got only one video has views as of this moment, and that's my channel intro, and that's because I sent it directly to a friend and said, let me know what you think. I need some feedback. And he's like, it's good, you just gotta work on this. And I'm like, that's kind of the whole point of the channel, is to work on my improving, to make it to where I'm not pausing or saying or whatever. And as I've said in that video, the link will be in the description in case you need it, along with the prologue video, is things will improve, and as long as you set your mind to it and you can overcome your own barriers, where there is a will, there is a way, and do things naturally, and you'll see a phenomenal improvement as long as you stick to it. That's the whole thing. Is I even met someone who said that they worked for Amazon, and she worked in returns, and they would get all these vitamins getting sent back with the complaint of, oh, I took this vitamin, it was meant to help with this, and I saw no results, or a protein shake or something, and it didn't do any improving. And it's like, well, yeah, you took it once or you took it twice, and then you said give up. You have to stay consistent with it. That's another thing that I want to make sure is out there, is if you do it once, or if you do it for, I don't care what the word is that follows the number 1. If you do it for 1 day, no results. 1 week, you do it for only 1 dose, no results. Do it for 1 month, you'll probably start seeing results, but at that point you can't just go, oh, what's work? You gotta stick with it. So consistency and willpower, do whatever it takes to see your health improve mentally, spiritually, and physically. They are all tied together. They are all part of the same. Your being is one. So it's been a long time since I've uploaded a video this long. So I've tried doing YouTube in the past, and it kind of doesn't work. And I've had software limitations or hardware. Like when you upload from a phone, it will limit what you do, but it's also whatever the limitation is that the phone has set. I remember when YouTube was starting to grow a community and take off and everything, but was still in its infancy. My computer, I was uploading straight from my iMovie program, and it would only allow 10 minutes at a time. And